So I'm at the halfway point now of cleaning down all the baseboards. It's taken a good few hours to kind of dust it all down and stuff. Still, as you can see, quite a bit of dust on there. There's been a little bit of water damage where it wasn't sort of covered and stuff. On the roof, where we've had a light bit of rain, it's made a few patches on here and some up here as well. And then, as you can see, some damage to this back baseboard here, and then the flooring stuff needs to be relaid at the back here to cover all of this insulation again, because that's all been lifted up. So the job, what they had to do was to put in these new battens and stuff all up here. These ones, this one had dipped, so they relined some new ones before putting all the battens on. So those have been fixed into these ones, and that goes all the way down, as you can see. So I've still got to cover all this edging up again where it's lifted out. So currently I'm just got the hoover up here moving out all of this back bit here, because it was absolutely covered just as much as what the tables were. And then, as you can see, everything's just thick with dirt and dust, so just currently in the process of dusting down sort of that pile over there. And then all my track work is at the back there, so this was the only section that I had actually pinned down. Luckily there's no real damage to this section in here. There's nothing wrong with the rails or anything, they're just a little bit dirty, so I'll give them all a bit of a clean up. And then I'm going to repair that board in the corner there. And then I'll have a bit of a tidy up, put all that stuff back, and then I will connect up my first looper track, organise where all the bits and pieces go, and then I'll be cracking on with working out my second loop and getting that fixed down, whilst having a little running session as well. So I'll bring you back in a little while once I've spent a bit more time clearing this up. Currently I'm about 2 hours in to removing all the dirt and everything. Had to do that with all of the brickwork up there as well, and repacking some of that insulation stuff up in the top there. I mean, that corner wasn't so bad because I had this insulation stuff over it anyway. And then I'm not going to fix any track down over this side because I'll be putting some stuff over these rafters here as a bit of insulation as well. But that's probably going to be a few weeks away on doing those bits there first, because I've got a lot to do up here, and I've had my holiday now, so it's going to have to wait until I've got time off to get these bits done. Right, so enough of me rambling on. Let's crack on and get this cleared up. So I've repaired the baseboard there up in the corner. All it needed was some new brackets on it and a few screws as well. I think maybe just where someone stood on it, it had split the wood up in the corner there, and then just with that back piece up there in the very corner, it's just bowed ever so slightly, so I'm just going to put another screw in the top just to level that down, and then we should be back up and running. So just going to sort out a little bit more on that corner just to make sure it's nice and level, and then see about getting the rest of the track put down. So I've added back in looper track, goes all the way around. I've got to sort out the boards all up in this corner, and I've got a couple more still from where I did the floor, just to fill in down this side here as well. But there's a new fascia that's going on, so that will be pulled out a little bit, so I'm not going to secure those down yet until that corner's done. But I've done the majority of all of the tidying up. There's still a little bit of low level dust on the tables and stuff, so I'll get a cloth out and just sort of kind of wipe that down again. So I'm just at the point now where I'm just going to quickly clean off the track. I've put my viaduct back in, and then I'm just going to see if I can get a loco running around, just so that I'm back to exactly the same spot where I kind of left off. Back in a moment. So there's a little bit more work to do with just cleaning the track down. I've taken out a couple of points over the other side just because I wanted to get in straight sections of track, and I've also got a couple of new points, so I wanted to swap those out, and being the Pico larger points, they I'll need to cut down some of the flexi track, so I just swapped out the Hornby ones and just added in a couple of lengths of the flexi track. And I'm just having a quick running session with Class 43 warship, sharpshooter. Just having a little run, just seeing how it does on the track that I put down. Basically just done it really quickly, so I'm just seeing if it goes round, just so that I can excuse me, have some trains running whilst I'm doing any scenic work and stuff. I just like to have at least a couple of, or a loco running around. Kind of just nice just to sort of sit back and take a break from doing a little bit more modelling and just watch the trains go past. So what projects am I going to be doing? So now I'm kind of back on track with how I left off with the layout, albeit just a little bit more dusting down to do and tidying up the flooring so that I haven't got any of this exposed loft insulation again. So once they finish that on the Monday on the edges, then I'll be boarding that back over, and then I'll give another sort of hoover over the baseboards and the floors just to make sure that all the dust and dirt is off. And then what arrived in the post whilst I was on holiday is my 4th viaduct, which will take that to 16. So it'll be the 16 arch viaducts that I was talking about. So I'm going to add or make that over the next couple of days, because I'm due to go back to work on the Sunday. And then I'm going to make up some more of those like kind of retaining wall parts that will stretch down into that section, which will then be part of the town scene. So I think I'll have another, already got three more to make of those. So in total that will be 5. So 5 of those like kind of wall bits to go right around the edge, and that will blend into some like hillside. I might even add an additional one just on there and blend that in to some cliffs and hills. So that's my next big thing to do, is get that done, and then I can get the rocks and hills that I started up in this section, I can then get that to work all the way down to the bottom. So that's quite a time consuming project. Takes a little bit of time obviously with it having to dry and everything as well, and then I've got to paint it up and prime it ready. I've got a little bit more detailing to do inside the arches. There's a few capping stones and stuff to go on the tops of the walls and underneath where the bricks are. You can see on the edges there, if I just zoom you in. So all like those edges there and that seam line there, there's some brickwork that I can do to those, just to kind of blend that in. Then it'll be joining and putting all the capping stones on there. And then I've got my 3mm ply, so I will be adding the 3mm ply and getting rid of that base along the top there. And what I'll do is I'll probably keep some of that for any scenic work in the town. I could maybe use it for some pathways or some sort of road or something like that. So I'm never going to chuck anything away, I'll just keep hold of it. So I'm going to put some 3mm ply in there just to strengthen that up. I've got enough, I've got 10 sheets of Amazon, so that'll be enough to stretch down into that section. So I'm hoping that by Thursday I should have the arches built, have nearly finished all of this hillside, stretching all the way down to there. And then my plans for over the weekend will be to add in my second loop. Now my second loop, I will be wiring for DCC and getting that ready, hopefully for the end of summer. And I'll just keep this main line here for now that I'm running my DC locos on with my DC controller. So I'll just keep that as how it is for now. And then I'll wire up ready the DCC lines, because there's going to be another 2 just where that train passed there. So I'll start getting my lengths in. I'm going to keep one that's more of a straight line to run alongside where the viaduct goes, and then my second line I will bring in a little bit closer to the same shape and gradient as this one that you can see now. So that'll be my project for this week. So there's a couple of videos that will be coming out probably Thursday, and then again on Saturday evening or Sunday morning. And then also I've brought 3 building kits that I'm not just going to disclose now, but I will put those in for a video for the week following. And then because I would have had my second loop in, what I'm going to do is the end of this month we'll be building another one of these to add on to the station section, and then I will be starting bringing some of this side and having the fiddle yard stroke good shed started, just so that I can actually store some trains on the track, because currently at the moment everything is underneath on storage, and now I've got no more works to the roof. I can actually get, you know, some trains rolling stock out and permanently up here. So in a way, I'm really pleased that I didn't do any more to the layout after having the roof done. So it was, you know, the best time to have had it done, and I'm glad really that I'd only sort of done, you know, from corner to corner on track work, because everything else could have, you know, could be lifted. So, you know, apart from the little damage to this corner, you know, there was no other real damage, just a lot of dust. But you know, 4 hours up here, my daughter's helping as well. We've managed to get it to a pretty decent state. Let it settle an hour or so before I came back up here to film this, just because there was a lot of dust in the air. And yeah, it's feeling a lot better up here. I mean, even shining in the light now, you don't see all the dust particles and stuff. So yeah, it's much better. Right, so thank you very much for joining me on this update. I hope that you'll enjoy what I've got coming up throughout the rest of the week. Because like I said, now we're back on track with how I left off. I can go all guns blazing again and get all this going again. Right, so thanks very much for joining, everyone, and thank you to anybody that has joined me recently. Your support is always appreciated. So take care, everyone, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.